Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the official launch of Brookhill. It's an honour to welcome you all here today. We're joined by Taoiseach Micheál Martin, Councillor Seamus McGrath, deputising for the Mayor of the County of Cork, representatives from Cork City Council, the Homeland Group, and my colleagues from Co-operative Housing Ireland. Today we welcome the 34 families who've already moved in to their new homes and their new community. In the coming weeks, 35 more families will be moving in. This is a good news story. 69 family homes, all in time for Christmas. The importance of community has come into sharp focus during the COVID-19 pandemic and has highlighted the need and necessity for affordability and security of tenure. Brookhill was made possible by CHI, by Co-operative Housing Ireland, partnering with Cork County Council, the Housing Finance Agency, the Department of Housing, Local Government and Heritage, and the Homeland Group, to provide much-needed, high-quality, A-rated homes. This is a turnkey estate, meaning that we engaged with the developer, agreed a fixed price, and stuck to it. As well as direct bills, turnkey homes are essential to addressing the housing crisis. They allow for the risks associated with building to be borne by the developer, for a greater housing mix, for social housing to be built on private land, and for accelerated housing building. But our partnership with local authorities is central to us delivering more social homes. In this case, of course, our partnership was with Cork County Council, and it was a pleasure to work with the team from Cork County Council. With this in mind, it is my privilege to introduce you to Councillor Seamus McGrath, Chair of the Council's Strategic Housing Policy Committee and deputising today for the Mayor of County Cork, who will say a few words now. Seamus?
Thanks very much, Kieran. Good morning, everybody. You're all very welcome to Carrigaline. I won't go through everyone that's here, but just to, of course, acknowledge Taoiseach Micheál Martin for taking time out of his exceptionally busy schedule. I think we'll all understand if he has to take a phone call from Brussels or from Downing Street this morning that he might have to nip away, but thank you, Micheál, for coming here this morning. You're very welcome. Today is a very important day at the launch of this exceptional scheme here in Carrigaline. Can I just at the outset thank you for the invitation to the County Mayor's office and to send apologies on behalf of Councillor Mary Lennon Foley, the County Mayor. Mary asked me to deputise and I'm delighted to do so. As a local councillor here, I have seen this development taking shape over the last couple of years, and I know firsthand that it is a development built at a very, very high standards, and it will of course provide wonderful homes for many families here in Carrigaline. I think the overall scheme is a figure of the order of 69 units. I think there was 64 plus an additional 5, which brings it to 69 houses here in Carrigaline. As I said, it is to the highest standard. As has been mentioned earlier, they are A-rated homes, highly energy efficient, which is obviously very important in the climate we're now living in, where we're all trying to reduce our carbon output. And I think one of my colleagues from Cork County Council, Seamus McGrath, mentioned that the annual heating bill for these homes is expected to be of the order of €160 per year, which is exceptional, that these houses can be heated for that amount of money per annum. Many of the people who will be housed here, many of the families are local to Carrigaline, but of course some are not and some are moving in. And as a local councillor here and deputising for County Mayor, I do of course want to welcome those families to Carrigaline. Carrigaline is a wonderful community, a very welcoming community. As we know, it is now a bustling town, but it was once a quiet village, and it is transforming from a village to a bustling town. And that brings its own challenges, which we are trying to face up to. And there is significant investment going into this area to try and make it to try and keep it a very vibrant community and a bustling town. It is the largest town in Cork County now, which is very significant, and I'm pleased to say that Cork County Council is stepping up to the plate, investing in the area, and I do want to acknowledge the presence of our Chief Executive, Tim Lucy, here this morning as well. Only just down the road here, at the roundabout to the entrance of this estate, there will be a new relief road starting in the coming months, which will link this development to the new town centre in Carrigaline along the Onabui River, which is just one example of the investment that's going to take place here to make this such a vibrant community for everybody. I think we all know the delivery of social housing is vitally important, and the scheme we're in here this morning is an example of collaboration between an approved housing body, Co-operative Ireland, and of course Cork County Council with state funding through the CAF scheme. and it is one of the finest examples of social housing being delivered through that scheme. I think Cork County Council this year will be on target to deliver up to 600 units, social units, through a variety of mechanisms this year, which I think, given the year we had and the pandemic, the global pandemic and so on, the challenges that we faced, that is an exceptional figure. And I must acknowledge the great work done by Maurice Manning, the Housing Director at Seamus DeFuita, and of course Tim Lucy, our Chief Executive, in delivering those. I think there was 4.2 million through the CAF scheme delivered here in this scheme of state funding via Cork County Council, with of course Housing Co-operative Ireland stepping up to the plate also. Social housing is vital. It provides a roof over people's heads, families, giving them a secure home for their future. I know many of the people who are here, and I know how grateful they are to receive these houses. It is life-changing. It is transformative for people to get that note or that phone call to say they're going to be offered a house in a scheme like this. And I have seen it on their faces, the delight that they felt when that phone call or note came through. It is a wonderful scheme, and it is a credit to everybody involved, including the builder who is here today, represented here today, Homeland. We know the important role approved housing bodies play, and I think the delivery of social housing into the future is going to have to be a collaborative approach with local authorities, the state, approved housing bodies, delivering housing through a variety of mechanisms, and that has worked to date, as well, of course, as local authorities delivering and building local authority houses themselves. Housing remains a key challenge, and this relatively new government, I think, is stepping up to the plate, and we've seen that in the recent budget with the significant amount of funding for social housing, and I must also say for affordable housing, which is critically important, and I know something that the current minister is committed to. So without further ado, there are a number of other speakers. As a local councillor, it's a pleasure to be here this morning. I want to acknowledge the great work by everyone involved in bringing this scheme to where it is today. 20 plus families already, many more to come into this wonderful development. And as I say, as a local councillor, just to make everyone feel very welcome in Carrigaline, and I can assure them it is a wonderful place to live for those who are moving into the area, and for those who were already living in Carrigaline, they will testify to that. So again, thank you very much, and I just want to say a special thanks to the Taoiseach again for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us here this morning. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McGrath. It is now my honour to invite on Taoiseach Micheál Martin, who needs no introduction, especially here in Cork, to speak. Taoiseach.
Well, Councillor Seamus McGrath, deputising for the Mayor of Cork County, and indeed Tim Lucy, Chief Executive Officer of Cork County Council, and Maurice Manning and all those involved in the housing team, and also, of course, to Pierre Shields, Chairman of Co-operative Housing Ireland, and Kieran Brennan. Can I say to you, first of all, it's a particular pleasure to have been invited here this morning to Carrigaline to open these new homes here in Brookhill, which I think are a manifestation of the type of partnership between all concerned to deliver high quality housing for the people of our country. And without question, housing represents one of the major social crises of our time in terms of our capacity as a state to make sure that people have access to housing at all levels, and it's a key priority of government. And these homes here, as Seamus has said, form part of an overall development of 69 houses, housing units on site. Beautiful location, very airy, healthy, and very good quality housing. And I was delighted to accept the invitation from Co-operative Housing Ireland because of the centrality of housing to the government's agenda and priority. Again, it provides me with an opportunity to see at first hand the very strong partnerships between Co-operative Housing Ireland and Cork County Council in this instance that make housing estates of this kind possible. And without question, as has been said, this development will provide much needed comfortable and secure homes to families and to individuals in Carrigaline and surrounding areas, and are a very welcome addition to the social housing stock in Cork County. We know that approved housing bodies are a crucial part of the mix of partners as we work to boost the delivery of housing in Ireland. Without them, accelerated delivery of projects like this would be much more difficult. And again, I want to thank sincerely Chairperson Pearse O'Sheil and the CEO Kieran Brennan and the entire team at Co-operative Housing Ireland for all that you have achieved so far, and particularly in bringing this particular project to life, for your hard work and for your dedication. As has been said, the project has been made possible using an innovative combination of capital funding, and this involves using funding under the Capital Advance Leasing Facility from the Department of Housing via Cork County Council, along with private finance. And the government will be constantly looking at innovative ways to develop housing of this kind and to make funding available to ensure the construction of more housing. Last year, the approved housing bodies sector delivered over 3,000 units for social housing use across the country. And there is a strong delivery pipeline for 2021 and beyond, which demonstrates our shared commitment, drive and ambition to boost output and get on with delivering social housing for those that need it. Co-operative Housing Ireland itself already has a very strong record in the provision of social homes and is to be applauded for its continuing work. To continue funding delivery of new social housing homes by the approved housing body sector, €220 million from budget 2021 is being allocated to capital funding stream under CAF. The increase in funding from 2020 will support 3,800 additional social homes through new build and acquisition in 2021. This beautiful development here is just one of a number of projects that Co-operative Housing Ireland are undertaking in partnership with local authorities around the country. And it is important to remember that projects like this aren't just about bricks and mortars, as Seamus has said. They are about providing good quality homes for people and allowing people to live independently, confidently and safely in secure and high quality surroundings. They are fundamentally about building sustainable communities. We are all acutely aware of the plight of those depending on all of us to find solutions to the problems facing the housing market. We all understand the demand for us to do everything we can to promote an effective and fully functioning housing market. I'm conscious of and grateful for all of the work that has gone into that effort over recent years and is going into that effort today. While the COVID-19 crisis has presented challenges in maintaining growth in house building for this year, we have worked with the construction sector to provide what support we can to boost output and build more homes. The entire sector has shown great commitment and capacity to innovate and adapt and to make sure that they can do this safely. Indeed, it is testament to the commitment of the sector that in the recent second wave of the pandemic, we were able to learn from the first wave and make sure that the construction sector stayed open during the most recent phase of enhanced restrictions. And that has enabled us to recover some of the output in 2020. We're already seeing residential construction recover well. I have no doubt that this will continue. The government understands deeply the need for the delivery of new social and affordable homes nationally. It is critical to national solidarity, community development and basic well-being. We are firmly focused on increasing supply and supporting those in our society who face the greatest challenges in terms of affording a home or getting access to social housing. With this in mind, we've committed over €3 billion in budget 2021 to housing programmes next year. And this will see the delivery of an unprecedented 12,750 new social homes, of which 9,500 will be new build homes, as well as new and expanded measures to improve affordability, including increased funding for the Service Site Fund and a new shared equity scheme. The government is committed to tackling the crisis in housing and delivering on the priorities of the programme for government. Working with delivery partners such as the AHBs will be central to this. Of course, we know that it's not enough just to build housing. Building the necessary support infrastructure, be that schools, roads or sports facilities, is vital for the growth of a community. The programme of infrastructure investment through the National Development Plan plays an important role in this regard. To ensure the continued momentum of public infrastructure delivery, public capital expenditure is planned to increase in 2021 to over €10 billion. And in spite of COVID-19, public investment in construction here in Ireland in 2020 and 2021 remains amongst the highest in the European Union. The NDP is under review now under the leadership of the Minister for Public Expenditure, Michael McGrath, and it will act as an important economic stabiliser and stimulus over the coming year, and crucially will help us to power our recovery out of the COVID-19 emergency. A number of key road projects are being progressed in Cork, including the M20 to Cork to Limerick Road, the N22 Ballyvorney to Macroom Road, and upcoming work on the Inner Western Relief Road here in Carrigaline. We are also strengthening communities through twin regeneration funds. The Urban Regeneration and Development Fund has provided funding for Cork City and metropolitan area, Carrigaline, Middleton, Mallow and Cove, amongst others. Meanwhile, the Rural Regeneration and Development Fund has provided funding for the regeneration of the town centre and development in Youghal and the development of a Georgian Culture Heritage Quarter in Mitchellstown. These are all really important projects that will underpin and grow the social and economic development of this region. I'd like to take a moment again to properly recognise and honour the work of the local authority. Cork County Council's collaboration with Co-operative Housing Ireland, with the support of the government, has improved many lives for the better over the years. And this development at Brookhill is just the latest chapter in that story. And we appreciate the work of the entire management team in that regard, and the council as well for leading these developments. Again, thank you all, and thanks to all those involved in the project. And I wish all of the new residents health, happiness and joy in their new homes. Gurvila Mahagwif Galer.
Thank you, Taoiseach, and thank you for your kind words. And good morning, everybody. What a beautiful morning it is here this morning. It is my very great pleasure as the Chairman of Co-operative Housing Ireland to welcome you all here today to the launch of this beautiful estate at Brookhill. Thank you to everyone for coming out this morning to join us as we begin to welcome 69 families to their beautiful new homes. The COVID-19 pandemic continues to impact on all our lives, and yet we've seen how cooperation can flourish on the one hand, between nations, but also in our communities, with members looking out for and caring for each other. At Co-operative Housing Ireland, our key priority is the delivery of housing for our members, and I'm pleased to say that we've been able to meet delivery targets as well as to get members into their new homes during COVID-19. Since 1973, we have delivered over 6,000 homes across the country, over 3,000 of which remain under our management. And we hope to continue to deliver an increasing number each year. Our development and housing management teams play an important role in ensuring that we consistently deliver high-quality, affordable housing to our members right across the country. We're very grateful for their commitment and efforts on a daily basis in their work. Our members, however, those who live in these homes, who participate in these communities, are really at the core of what Co-operative Housing Ireland is all about. The members are involved at all levels within the organisation, from local estate committees to local boards to our national board. Remaining true to our cooperative values of self-help, self-responsibility, democracy and equality, and solidarity, they are vital aspects of what Co-operative Housing Ireland is all about. Our members embody those values and make Co-operative Housing Ireland the unique organisation that it is. And though we've grown rapidly as an organisation over the last 6 years, the ability of our members to have real and concrete input into how their communities are run is something that, as a cooperative of cooperatives, has lasting value for us and for the communities we serve. Brookhill, as you can see, is a beautiful A-rated 69-home development in a beautiful location here in Carrigaline. It's a stone's throw from the city, close to schools. There's a vibrant football club and a wide variety of other amenities. We're all keenly aware of the current housing crisis in Ireland. These homes will go some way towards alleviating pressures on the social housing waiting list in Cork County. Great credit for collaboration in the delivery of these homes goes to Cork County Council, the Housing Finance Agency and the Homeland Group. It was a great pleasure to work with you all. And a special thanks go to our head of new business, Padraig Clancy, who's here with us today, the area housing manager, Dave Ryan, and housing officer, Helena Finnegan, who's also here with us today, as well as the Munster Cooperative and our national board. Again, it's my privilege and pleasure to welcome you all here today. We look forward to working with our new members in Brookhill as they settle into their new homes and begin the work of forming a true cooperative community. Thank you. And now I'll invite the Taoiseach to place a Christmas wreath on the door of number 17. Thank you, Taoiseach.